Okay then guys, if you want to grab our Male Advantage supplement, the link is below. It is free shipping worldwide. If you subscribe monthly, you get 20% off. It brings it down to the lowest price we've ever had. That link is below. If you want to check out some of the projects on our streaming platform, documentaries and series, the link is also below. If you want to read the Male Advantage ebook or listen to the audiobook, again, the link is below. If you want to grab our course, guys, which has all of the content that I'm showing on the screen now on, plus more, plus all the old videos from YouTube, all of the best ones anyway, stuff about life setup, framing, I really go into detail about Dan Bilzerian, Leonardo DiCaprio, what they do to set their life up in a certain way, to attract women, to frame themselves as a high-level man. It's all there. And finally, guys, as you all know, we have bought a house in Granada, Spain, which will be the first house for 1M House, which is a members club where you guys can pay £2,999 and stay all around the world, all the best houses in all the most cultured and beautiful locations, eventually cities that we're going to move into. The first house has got a pool, it's going to have a gym, sauna, spa room, we're going to have work facilities, a coffee room, obviously bedrooms for everybody to stay in. It's right next to a ski lodge, it's right next to a beach, it's right next to a major city with a huge population. Guys, it's going to be unbelievable. We're all going to be there. We're all going to be sat round a fire table, chatting about men's lifestyle, chatting about self-improvement. It's taking YouTube a few gears up, a few levels up, where you can finally meet people in person, build your own network, to make this interactive instead of just sitting behind a screen trying to learn that way. I think that's old school. I think the future is going to be in person. I think people want actionable. I think people are fed up with this virtual world. I think this is the future of men's lifestyle, men's self-improvement. If that sounds of interest, guys, the link is below. You can apply now. If not, just take a look at the website, take a look at all the features. You might become a member in the future. We'd be happy to have you. So now to the video that you came here to watch. Okay then, guys, welcome back to another video. The title of this video is a little strange unless I've decided to change it. The handsome, tall, 18% body fat guy. Right? How many? This is almost a metaphor, but I see it all the time. How many of you know, like a tall, handsome guy, and you know, full head of hair, handsome face, whatnot? He's kind of chubby. Do you know what I mean? He's like in between. He's almost got that dad bod. He's like 18 to 22% body fat, but you know, handsome, youthful face, tall, massive bone structure, full head of hair. Pretty handsome guy, but he's pretty chubby. It's a metaphor for life. It's a metaphor for male life. I've only really known like 2-3 people in my life that have been blessed genetically who work hard. It honestly, guys, it happens all the time. Like, how many kids do you know who are rich? Parents are rich. They've inherited the business and stuff like that, and they're lazy, they're sloppy, they're fat, they don't dress well and stuff like that. It's a metaphor, and it's something that you should be really grateful for, but you will see it in life. You'll see so many guys that are tall, handsome, you know, massive bone structure and everything. They've been blessed genetically. They go out and they get drunk a lot. And they're always like shabby dressed, and they're always like 18 to 22% body fat. There's a mindset thing. When you get given stuff at the start of your life, when you get handed things on a plate, you know, you get a bit of height, you're handsome, you're in shape naturally, whatever. Like, things come easy to you. They come naturally. Like, you have a lazy mindset. Your parents are rich. You have a lazy mindset. It's not all, but it's, you know, the vast majority. And it's almost somewhat like a metaphor, like I said, and it should act as encouragement for you guys, because usually the further back that you start, the better sort of person that you're going to be, the more skills that you're going to have available to get to the top. And if you come from like a poor background, let's say you weren't popular in school and stuff like that, those people usually kill it in life because their mindset's different. They're willing to put the work in. Like, what was the old Bruce Lee quote where he was like, I don't fear the guy that does 1,000 punches in a day. He was like, I fear the guy, or it's kicks or something like that. I think it was 1,000 kicks in a day. He was like, I fear the guy who does 1 kick every day for 1,000 days, right? Again, it's a metaphor, but that is what I've seen in life. At 31 years old, I see the people that are killing it in life now are the people that were just consistent. 6-7 days a week, every single week, without fail, they're in the gym. You know, their diet is immaculate all the time. They don't really have cheat meals. They don't have cheat days. They don't really, do you know what I mean? They don't ever slip. They don't really go out and get drunk. When it comes to business, you know, they do consistent 14 to 16 hours a day, 6 days per week, and they've been doing that for like 10 years straight. It's just like, it's not really rocket science, but it's a mindset thing. Like once you get your mind in gear, like I've been training very, very hard in the last like 6 months with my business partner. He almost basically trains me. And his mindset's insane. His level of discipline is insane. I've adopted that. So even when I train on my own now, I train at that intensity and I've gained more muscle than ever. I'm in the best shape of my life. I didn't know that next level was there until I got my brain in gear. My body could do it. It was just my brain was going, that's 10 reps, you're done. Do you know what I mean? Because you were naturally strong and athletic. It's like you're kind of done. But once you get your brain in gear, you're like, I could push 5 more here. And you do it to failure, and then you get to here and you can barely move and you're pumping out a few more. You've probably collectively done like another 10 reps on what you'd normally do. So your body's just, it's just thriving at a whole different level. It's being pushed to an elite level. It's like, UFC fighters or boxing fighters, like they go into their camp, like their team. That's why they have teams. Otherwise, each boxer would train on their own, but they go into camp and they'll have the sparring partners there. They'll have the people that are also in the camp. The MMA is massive for this, especially the UFC. They'll have gyms where there's like 5 world champions in that gym. That's going to make you better. It has to. You think of a sports team where like you're playing with Michael Jordan. You're seeing him turn up at like 4 a.m. You're seeing Kobe Bryant turn up at 4 a.m. You're seeing him practice 3 times a day. You'd be like, oh, I can see the level now. Like that's the level that I need to be at. That's what you don't get when you're blessed. That's what you don't get when you're naturally tall, handsome, whatever. You got everything given to you. And, maybe your parents are rich. And you're the guy sat there right now who's a little bit shorter than everybody else. You've got no money. Your parents are a little bit poor. Maybe you don't look great. Maybe you're not blessed physically, genetically, etc. I actually think it's somewhat as a positive. I really do. Now at 16, it's the worst thing in the world. It's terrible. Do you know what I mean? You get the handsome guy at school who's getting all the girls and you're like down and going home at night thinking, what's wrong with me? I get that, guys, right? But I'm telling you, if you keep pushing through life, because they won't. Like, where's his motivation to wake up early and go to the gym? Like, where is that? Do you know what I mean? As somebody who wasn't kind of blessed with everything at the start, I had a few pluses and minuses, whatever, but I wasn't blessed with a lot of stuff at the start. I go to the gym and I get a buzz off like, you're looking good, stay on top of it. Because I know I've been down. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I've got to keep it here. Whereas the people that I went to school with that were genetically kind of blessed in terms of like, what a handsome guy, and they had all this stuff and whatever, and parents were wealthy, they just don't work hard. They don't value it. It's like if your parents gave you a car, you'd be like, oh, you'd probably just crash it, scrape it, you wouldn't care. When you've worked for like a whole summer to save up for a car, you're so nervous. You're like, oh, I'm going to scrape it. I can't do that. Like, please keep my car clean, guys. Do you know what I mean? Whereas somebody who's wealthy, like, somebody will be in the back, they'll spill it, and they'll be like, oh, fuck it. It doesn't matter. I'll just get it cleaned. You don't really have value for things that are given to you. I mean, look at people's bodies. They put fast food in their body, alcohol, etc. Because their body, their life was just given to them. It's not like you earned it. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you had to run the gauntlet to be born. So people just don't really value their bodies. It's a common thing that happens in humans. If you've had to earn something, you really value it. If you just get it given to you, you just don't really care, right? And I think this was actually in Captain America. I think when they were picking who was going to take the super soldier serum, it was one of the first ones, so it's a long time ago. But he said, why me? Why not so-and-so and whatever? He was like, because you've been the small, weak guy, so you know the value of power. He was like, he doesn't appreciate it. That's what I'm getting at here. I'll try and put that clip in if I don't get copy written.
This is why you were chosen. Because a strong man who has known power all his life may lose respect for that power. But a weak man knows the value of strength.
But that's the whole aim. That's the whole name of the game, guys. I think if you're the guy who's, like I said, I've only met 2 or 3 people in my life that have been blessed from day one, and they've continued at that level. They've just gone, I'm really handsome, I'm jacked, I'm just gonna keep pushing it. Or my parents are rich, I'm gonna work as hard as they did. Very rare. It just never happens. Everyone else is just like, I'm gonna go out for some beers, who cares? I got everything I ever wanted already. That's your advantage. Like I said, if you are that down and out guy, if you need to, improve your life, you need to kick on, and you're down in the gutter and you're thinking, I'm starting from the back point here. Just know nobody else will run. Like, you're furthest back on the race, on the starting blocks. But they're all walking. They're not trying. They're stood around having conversations. They're getting slower year on year. They might start strong, but they're getting slower and slower. They're getting fatter. They're getting lazier. They're looking and going, oh, it's quite far. Oh, it's a long distance to run, because they're not used to it. From 14 years old, I had to work on building sites and stuff like that. And like, do you know what I mean? You're getting cuts all over your hands at 14 years old. You're doing a full day's work with grown men getting shouted at. When it comes to doing a full day's work now, I'm like, oh, it's easy. Compared to that, it's nothing. So I have a different barometer. My like threshold is higher. A lot of these other people don't have that. And that's your key to win. Do you remember in Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler, where he's like, KD was like, you know, you score points, you dunk on people, whatever. He was like, that's you. He was like, it's no different than me. He was like, this is me. This is my thing. This is how I win. That's you guys. This is how you win. This is your only strategy. This is how you win in the game of life. Don't forget it, guys.